What is up, everyone? Welcome to the top captain picks for game week 10. If you're new, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button and let me know who you are going to be captaining for game week 10. And also let me know, did the captaincy video from last time help you out? If you are a returning subscriber. Also, how did your game week go? Let me know how it went. Anyways, having said all of that, let's get into the captaincy video for game week 10. On the screen, I've got Salah, Antonio, and Son as options, but we'll go into it even further and see who you could captain this game week. Now, I write articles for fantasy football community as well. Check their website out as well. I wrote an article last week on why Salah could be considered a captaincy option, and as you guys would have seen, it paid off as expected. Like all the research, the data all backed for Salah to be performing against United. Although we did not expect him to get the 4 attacking returns was a bit more than what we would expect, but an attacking return or 2 were expected, at least kind of expected, based on the data that I wrote in that article. So I'll be writing one this week as well, probably based on midfielders, because a lot of us are going to be looking at midfielders now for this game week, and the game week's going ahead. So check out the website, check out the article when it's out, and also I'll discuss more about it in the podcast tomorrow. So let's get into the captain's video. Game week 10 fixtures. Now, for anyone who's new and doesn't know how this works, basically the colors in red are teams that have low XG or like really bad XG or really bad XGC. So minutes per expected goals or minutes per expected goals conceded, and they're basically the bottom 4 of that stat. So if you were to look at Norwich, they're in the bottom 4 for minutes per expected goals and minutes per expected goals conceded, whereas maybe an Aston Villa is only pretty bad in their defensive side. So in the bottom 4 of defensive. In terms of green, it's basically the top 4 teams for those stats. So Leicester are in the top 4 for defense, whereas Liverpool are in the top 4 for attack. But not for their defense. But City, on the other hand, are in the top 4 for both attack and defense. In terms of yellow, it's basically the next 4. So from teams from number 5 to 8. So Leicester are basically if you were to consider the next best 4 teams in terms of either attack or defense, Leicester are in terms of attack. Arsenal are basically in terms of attack and defense, they are basically the next 4. So that's how basically the color system works. And in the brackets, you can see either how many goals they've conceded and how many goals they've scored. All of this data is based on the last 4 game weeks fixtures. Now, having said all of that, the team that I picked in number 1 is Liverpool against Brighton. Now, Brighton don't have either color, which means they're in the next gap of teams in that table. Now, Brighton, how would you put this? They're not bad, neither are they that good. But Liverpool, in terms of attack, they've scored 15 goals in 4 games. That is an insane return. Now, they've had 9 goals in the last 2 games combined, so that has to be considered. But Brighton, at this point, Salah is like on another level that he is very hard to go against in terms of captaincy. And even if he gets 1 goal against Brighton, I think we'll all take that, to be honest. And Brighton also don't seem to be offering much in attack in terms of threat. So it shouldn't worry too much in terms of Liverpool's defense. So they will be on the offense a lot, Liverpool against Brighton, and I can expect to see maybe a goal or 2. And on the form that Salah is in right now, he's possibly perma captain. I wouldn't say perma captain, but he's getting to that stage where you could probably captain him for regardless of the fixture, and he'll do really well. Obviously, there will be the occasional fixtures where another team is playing like a team like Norwich, where you go, no, we need to like captain someone from that team. But yeah, so Liverpool is my first pick. Second up, I've gone for West Ham, who have a decent attack, I would say, going against a poor Aston Villa defense. And I'm going for Antonio. Now, Antonio did get the goal over the weekend, but he hasn't really convinced me. Even the performance that they played recently wasn't that great. Like, Antonio he's delivering the goals, and I think before West Ham get into this really tough fixture set with like Liverpool, City, Chelsea all to come, this might be one of the last opportunities for the moment, at least to captain Antonio if you wanted to as a differential captaincy option. So against an Aston Villa team that are not doing good and have shipped 8 goals in the last 4 game weeks. So you could probably keep him as my second captaincy option. Now you saw Son on the thumbnail before here, and right now he could be one because Spurs, they don't have a really great attack to be honest, but Son, I was watching the game, Son did seem like a decent amount of threat, and he's going against a United team that have shipped 11 goals in the last 4 game weeks, and also that's Prem, 11 goals in the Prem, right? They've also shipped 11 goals in the last week in general, counting the Leicester, Liverpool, and the UCL game. So defensively, they are in a shambles. Now, a few things need to be considered in the fact that there is talk about manager being changed. We don't know how much that will impact the team. Whether if the manager doesn't get changed, then maybe Heung-min Son could be. It's a more riskier punt in terms of captaincy, but still could be an option if there is no manager change. If there is a manager change, then I probably might not go for Heung-min Son. I might just look at like Salah or Antonio as an option. In terms of other players, Chelsea, it's very hard to kind of predict who we want to captain. Go back to the screen, sorry. Who we want to captain from Chelsea. There is no specific player, and Mason Mount isn't going to be delivering a hat-trick every week. And if you read the article when I put it out, you'll check and see why. Like Mason Mount's previous results in past seasons, he hasn't been that kind of player who's got like double returns every week or every other week. He's very like maybe an assist a game in like a few games or a goal. He doesn't return every time in terms of attacking returns to be a captaincy option. And then also I can't really tell any other. Havertz could be, maybe people took a punt on Havertz, but I would rather give a captaincy armband to someone who has form rather than the fixtures at the point. You have to play the fixtures as well, but you can't just put a captaincy armband on someone who hasn't been really playing too much as well and expect them to deliver. So those kind of things need to be considered. Man City going against a strong Crystal Palace defense. Obviously, Man City can still get goals. Foden's on good form right now. If you wanted to captain Foden, could be an option, but I won't expect too much against Crystal Palace because Crystal Palace have improved defensively. So that's another thing to consider. Now, having said all of that, let's go a bit more into Salah. So that's Salah's heat map the last 4 game weeks. It's kind of reduced before compared to what it was used to be in, like, if you check the last video. Interestingly, out of all the times I put Salah on this slide, this is the first time I'm looking at a defense from a Brighton's, like a defensive team, opposition team's shots conceded map, which you see at the bottom, and I'm gone. Okay, they're not conceding too much on the right, because most of the times we've done this video, most of the teams concede a lot of shots on the right side, and that's why Salah has been dominating instantly. This time it's still on the it's this time it's actually both, it's like more central they're conceding, which kind of still can help Salah because he does cut in a lot, but it's not favored too much towards right. So Brighton are weak down the middle and it's showing. So it could be Salah who benefits from it. It could be Firmino who benefits from it. Even Mane could benefit from it if he starts. So any one of the Liverpool players could really benefit from it. That's what I'm trying to say from this. But Salah on the form he is right now, he's at 12.9 at the time of recording. He has 6 goals and 3 assists in the last 4 game weeks, an XG of 3.95 and an XA of 0.72, 8 big chances and 7 chances created. That's really good stats. And Brighton are 14th for expected goals conceded. Basically the 14th best defense in the league in the last 4 game weeks. So that's Liverpool and that's Salah. Not much to say about it. Let's go into Antonio. Now, Antonio is priced at 8.1 at the time of recording. 2 goals. Again, I told you form not being great. And that's his heat map as well that you can see. He's seemingly been all over, like left, right, trying to get involved in the play. Not spending too much time in the box. I guess that's why it kind of like shows why he hasn't been getting returns as well too much. And it kind of shows, look at that. Big chances, he's had only 3. But chances created, he's done 13 chances created. We should be seeing more returns with all those chances created. But West Ham are not getting the goals. In terms of Aston Villa in defense, they've conceded 13 big chances. XG of 7.74 in the last 4. And an expected goals conceded rank of 18th. So they're the 18th worst defense, which puts Antonio at a really good as a really good option, captaincy option, assuming he can get a few goals. Also, if you look at the Aston Villa's shots conceded map, a lot of them are central. So it does bode well for Antonio as another captaincy option. Now, I don't have a slide for Heung-min Son or Foden or Mason Mount or anything, but I can show you guys on the Fantasy Football Scout. I created a stats table basically. So anyone who has the members area, you can go and check out the Fantasy Football Scout, and you probably can see my stats table as well. It's a public stats table. So let's get into it right here. I've basically called it attackers, but it does include defenders who are also very attacking as well. Basically, in these last 4 game weeks, you need to have a XGI of minimum 1 and 1 start at least. And Salah right on top there. But then again, like I told you, Antonio just behind. Foden, I told you guys Foden and Heung-min Son could be good options. They're 3rd and 4th in this list in terms of it's sorted by XGI, expected goal involvement. Son has 12 chances created in the last 4 game weeks, 9 goal attempts, 4 big chances in total, and 7 shots inside the box. Foden 12 shots inside the box, 12 goal attempts, 7 chances created. So both of them are decent options as well. Josh King in there as well after his recent performances. Mason Mount in there, but a lot of this came from Norwich. Keep that in mind. So he could be maybe an option if you want to try again against what defense are they playing? Chelsea are playing Newcastle. Yeah, against the Newcastle defense. You could probably try Mason Mount as an option, but I won't expect much. At this point, I would recommend Salah or Antonio from this captaincy video. And then there are a few other places as well. So you can check all of this out on the Fantasy Football Scout members area. Let's get back into the slides. So having said all of this, oh no, it all disappeared. Great. There we go. So captaincy, Salah I think is the clear favorite for this week, but Antonio is a good option. And then I've given you a few other punts that you could probably look at as well. We will discuss more of this in the podcast tomorrow. It'll be live on YouTube. Check out the channel. There'll be an event that will be created as well for the podcast. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and get involved. You can come get involved in the chat and we'll answer your questions as well for the upcoming game week. Get involved in the chat. It'll be live on YouTube. We'll be talking about midfielders as well and what midfielders to bring in as well for the upcoming game week. And I'll see you guys all in the podcast tomorrow. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And yeah, see you all later. Have a good week. And hopefully everyone has a good game week 10 as well. See you.